Kurt Helin, NBC Sports Radio. And, of course, he joins us here to talk some NBA playoffs. Kurt, we are finally set, and we got some intriguing matchups, including right here in Philadelphia, where the Sixers are taking on the Brooklyn Nets. And I don't know that there was a series that the Sixers were thrilled about. It was either Orlando or Brooklyn, but it's going to be Brooklyn. How, if you're a Sixer fan, do you feel about this?
It's one you should win, obviously, but I like this as a first-round matchup in this sense. Brooklyn's going to test you. I mean, that is a scrappy team that plays hard, that, executes the game plan, that's going to make you work for it. And I think for a Philadelphia team, once in the playoffs, knock on wood, Embiid will be there for the first game. I know that's technically questionable, but it gives them a chance over a few games to get a rhythm before the second round and things get serious. This is a team that can test you, but you can beat, and I think that's kind of a good spot to be in the first round, where it gives them a little time to work on chemistry and some of the stuff that it's just been hard to do over the end of the season just because everybody's missing time.
Yeah, I know they're in an interesting spot, and then Elton Brand didn't help last night where he says he hopes Embiid will play. He's optimistic, but it's possible he won't. If Embiid's out, are they in trouble in round one?
If he misses extended time, yes. They're just, and you guys have seen this. I mean, they should technically win. They still would have certainly more talent than Brooklyn, but they haven't been cohesive. They haven't had the same anchor, especially, I was going to say defensively, and that's true, but even their offense has not been quite right when Embiid's not out there. So I'm really curious. If they don't have him for game one, does he survive game one? I mean, do they lose game one? Because if you lose game one against a plucky Brooklyn team, well, now you got to earn it. Now you got to win one in their building, and you're going to have to. You've made the road a lot harder. And that said, I still expect the Nets to come out. I still expect the Sixers to come out of it. It's just you need all the time together you can get at this point, because when you get to that second round, Toronto, even though Kawhi Leonard missed 20 games, give or take, I forget the number now. They know who they are. They know what they want to do. They have a good sense of what how they're going to play. Right. And they're going to be a challenge.
Toronto takes on Orlando in the 2-7. You've got Milwaukee against a very weak entry in the 8th spot if Blake Griffin can't play, the Detroit Pistons. And then there's the 4-5. You've got Boston and the Pacers. It was the only matchup that we knew entering yesterday. And the Celtics, we've never really been able to figure them out all year. We've always thought, though, that Indiana would kind of falter. They fell to where we thought they would fall. They are number 5. Do they have a shot to knock off the Celtics, who now lose Marcus Smart?
Yeah, the Marcus Smart thing hurts them, by the way, especially, again, in advance to that second round. Could really use him against the Bucks. That said, I still think Boston wins this, but the team that beats Boston is Boston. Indiana, much like Brooklyn, knows who they are, know what they're going to do. Bogdanovich is going to hit shots. They're going to move the ball. They're going to get some, Miles Turner's going to play good defense in the paint. They have... Again, they're going to play hard. They have a sense of who they are and what they want to do, and they've had some success. If Boston comes out and is just flat again and it's just they've been so up and down this season. When they've been felt challenged, they've looked pretty good, but that's not consistent. If they come out flat, they're going to be in trouble. I still think that they'll put together enough in this series. My real question for them, because they can give Milwaukee problems, is can they get serious enough, and much like I was saying with the Sixers, can they find a rhythm? Can they get pushed 5 or 6 games, but in that kind of find a rhythm of who they are and what they want to do and carry that over to the next round or not?
Kurt Helin, NBC Sports, talking NBA playoffs. I think that 2-7 out west is interesting. Nuggets, San Antonio, the Spurs, great coach, and Denver's never really been here before. Is that one to keep an eye on for upset in round one? We don't see a lot of NBA upsets in round one, Kurt.
I think the West, though, you're going to have a couple lower seeds, really. That Utah-Houston series is just going to be a war. But, yeah, this is another one where I think, exactly what you said. Denver's more talented. They are the better team. They should win this series. That said, we don't know how they're going to. How is Jokic going to react? I think Jokic will be fine. How is Jamal Murray going to react? Who's kind of their number 2 guy and their point guard? how are they going to handle the defense? How are they going? This is their first exposure to how things ramp up in terms of both intensity and focus on the details that come with the playoffs. And you learn a team so intimately that you're cutting off things, and you've got to go to counters and your counters to your counters and all this stuff and putting in new stuff. This is their first experience for it. It's, 22 straight years of the Spurs being in the playoffs. They're used to this. I think that makes it a kind of intriguing chess match of a series. I still think Denver wins it, but it is a possible upset just because I just am not totally sold on Denver.
We'll leave you with this. Dave Yeager's fired in Sacramento. I mean, it's the best season they've had in a long time. And the reports are that target could be Monty Williams here in Philadelphia, where they've already lost one coach to St. Joe's. If they lose Monty, Brett's name comes up all the time as, what do they need to do? So are you intrigued by this Yeager, Monty Williams, and then the domino effect it could have if Brett Brown and the Sixers don't play well?
By the way, this is just Kings gonna Kings, aren't they? Like, I don't even.
I'm a big fan of Yeager, by the way. I like Yeager a lot.
I like him. I kind of get where this is in this sense. He's a challenging personality. He does not get along with Vlade Divac's right-hand man. And still, you've got to figure, you've just got to get past the personalities if it's working on the court, and it's working on the court. Like, Dave Yeager has that, they found an identity this year. They're from, frankly, my favorite League Pass team. They were just fun to watch play basketball with the tempo and with De'Aaron Fox and Marvin Bagley coming on. Like, that was an entertaining team, and it's a mess now. I don't blame. I've heard Monty Williams. Luke Walton, when he becomes available, is a guy they'd be interested in. If I'm Monty Williams, I got to think about whether I want to go, or Luke or anybody. Do I want to go there with all the dysfunction that has wrapped itself through that organization? If you're a guy with choices, I mean, there's only 30 of these jobs, but if you're a guy who will have choices and has options, and this isn't your first gig, do you want that?
Probably not. The Sacramento stories are not fun. He's Kurt Helin. You can listen to him on NBC Sports Radio, and you can listen to that at NBCSportsRadio.com. Download the NBC Sports Scores mobile app today, and Kurt will be back with more NBA playoff conversation next week. Kurt, thank you, pal.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
You got it. Kurt Helin, like all guests, appeared via the Boardwalk Honda hotline.